going. Okay, so give me just a second and then we will go live. And that's another fun thing about the live is once you go live, if you don't close your screen, it makes a fun echo. So they just like to overcomplicate going live on Facebook. But okay, I think we are good. So yay, guys. I'm so thankful you guys hopped on here tonight. Or if you're listening to the live or even the recording, I am so excited you guys get to meet Amanda Simmons. So this girl I've been stalking since she came into Plexus because she came in hot and did a lot of craziness that made her name known, and y'all are gonna get to hear some of that tonight. But then also through Brooke's training, I just got to know her more and more on all the Zooms that we used to do on Brooke's training. And then I actually got to meet her in Nashville, and she's just the sweetest human ever. But she is also a rock star in the business. And so I figured, who better to bring in to get a little advice than a rock star. So I did ask her to kind of share some tips around recruiting, because we know no matter what we're doing in our business, if we focus on the pillars of recruitment, retention, duplication, that is the activity that supports the goals that we have. And so because she's a recruiting rock star, I asked her to share a little bit on that. But we're just excited to hear a little bit about your journey and any wisdom you can offer. So I'm going to hand the torch over to you, friend.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Hi, I'm Amanda from Canada. And I do have some tips for recruiting. Did you want me to talk a little bit about like how I came into Plexus and my journey?
I love hearing the backstory too, because we all start with our day one, right? So yeah. I love hearing. Yes, ma'am.
Sure. I'm like, I don't know what it's going to be a surprise what we talk about tonight. I don't even know. I'm going to go with what my heart says to do. So I started Plexus at the age of 29, and I was looking for a stream of income. So I came in head hot for the business, didn't know what the products even did. I did my first post and my grandma was like, what are you like selling? What is this stuff? And I was like, I have no idea. Like, I don't even know what I'm selling. And then my sponsor was trying to get my pack narrowed down. She's like, what health problems do you have? And I was like, I thought we were talking about the compensation plan. Like, I didn't know it was a health company. Okay. So I was just like ready to make some money from home. I was a stay-at-home mom to 4 kids, 2, 3, 5, and 7. And we had one income in our household, our whole marriage, while my husband went to school. So obviously like a lot of student debt. I'd looked into, I tried all the things. I got like a Nikon camera, one of those big things. And I'm a health and life coach certified. I looked into something called a Nagic that ended up being a pyramid scheme. Kate, talk about business investments. This is how serious I was. I looked in that company and I was ready to put out a $12,000 investment into that with crap loads of student debt and one income with 3 or 4 little kids. I was going to put out $12,000. So when you get nervous talking about the cost with people, if somebody's ready, okay, they'll pay the $100 or like the $9.95. Like I was like, so bless my husband when I told him the cost, he was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. Like after some other things I'd looked into, I just wanted to make money. So I came in strong for the business, and I like to talk a little bit about, because it can be easy to hear this and think like, oh, she must have had a following or whatever. I don't know what people think. I had about 560 Facebook friends. So not like a crazy following, not a horrible one, just average. And I had never done an MLM before, like nothing. I didn't know how to run a Zoom. I could not run Canva. I think I figured out Canva at like Ruby level, maybe. But I had passion and excitement. So I went Emerald in 12 months on my 1-year anniversary. And then I'm working on my husband's account. I signed up 3 years ago. So my 3-year anniversary is last month. I'm just about Emerald for him at this point, and then he'll quit his job. So it has been like a huge blessing for our family. I've been through the things with my business. So like I have success, but I've also had valleys in my business. I've had a lot of hard things I've had to deal with and work through, and a lot of personal growth I've done a lot with Brooke. And the biggest thing I can say is like, don't quit on your hardest day, you guys. So when I went through different things in my business, I thought to myself, okay, I have a choice right now to make. Not even a choice, a decision. When there's a choice, there is like 2 options. It's like, do I want the red cup or the blue cup? And it can be like easy to shift, right? Have you ever had that where you're like, kind of like, I'm going to go for gold. and you're like this, it's because you have not made a decision. You're still floating. There's still other options. I fully made the decision that this is what I was going to do, and I would do whatever it took to get there. And so lots of things. So I wanted to talk a little bit today, maybe, and pop any questions in the chat. Like, I love interaction too. So yeah, pop in the chat if you have any questions as well. But I wanted to talk a little bit about diamonds today. I just got a little obsessed with them the last little bit, and I thought like, okay, diamond is the top rank, and I wanted to get some lessons from diamonds that we could take away. So I did a joint Zoom call. I don't know if you know Jody Frey, she's also in Canada. And we talked about this a little bit, but something that happened, my husband in the new year got me this diamond bracelet. And this is where I started going to town, like Googling all about the diamonds and learning about this. And I just think there's so many lessons to be learned through this that I've learned through my business, and so many analogies with it. I'm also just looking at time, and I want to talk about recruiting. So I'll try and like go through this quickly. But anyway, so when I went emeralds, I was given, I don't know how many different sapphire sets of earrings, sapphire necklaces. They all got lost, broken, tangled. There's an earring in Mexico somewhere that like is probably under the bed. And I was like, what the heck? Like, I'm not even going to wear sapphire stuff anymore. It just keeps getting lost. Like, what is going on here? So then my husband for Christmas gets me a diamond bracelet. And I was like, oh my gosh, like it's still on my Facebook. If you want to go there, Amanda Simmons, you'll see the post. I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, like no one's believed in me like this before. So I wore it every day. And this one day I was taking off my sweater, and I don't know, like my finger got caught, or it got caught in there, and the whole thing ripped. It broke. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, okay, what the heck? Like everything's breaking, everything's like lost. Maybe like, is this a sign? So anyway, then I was like, okay, I'm gonna like start looking into diamonds, because I thought that would be a really good Zoom call for my team. Anyway, the first thing that I started learning about them is diamonds are made under pressure. You have to, my team page name is Dust to Diamonds. You have to be broken to be made into a diamond. And so I thought there is something to this, and it gives me chills a little bit. God uses the broken to make diamonds. And I'm like, this is so much my journey. Like I've had so much breaking and so much like refining that has went through my business that was hard, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. And so the first thing with diamonds is they're made under pressure. And when I was talking about my journey, all the highs, the lows, you know, it can be so easy to compare and to look at like the person to the left or the right. But I'm here to tell you, when you start to do that, you're going to get in a car crash, right? Like if you're driving on the road in your car and you're like, you're going to go in the ditch. And so don't compare yourself to other people, because you see this like tip and you don't see all of this underneath the water. And so you're uniquely you. There's only one of you. And another thing about diamonds is they are all different. They all shimmer differently. They all have different designs. There's not one that is the same. And so if we spend our energy trying to become like that one person or what their secret is, you're never going to become the diamond you're meant to be, because you're going to be different than them. You know, like we can take things like that we want to grow from, but ultimately the world needs you, and they need your strengths and your capacities. And when you look at other diamonds in plexus, they are all so different. I love it. Like, I super love it. There's some that like can't read a spreadsheet and don't even log in their back office, but they're super passionate, right? Other people, that'll give them an anxiety attack. We've got introverts, we've got extroverts, like all the things, and different ages, different demographics. And so it's really your own journey. So focus on becoming better than you were yesterday, because that is what. And then going into recruiting, I want to talk about this a little bit. I have had I've had like so many people quit. It's just so funny. Like I couldn't even lose track. Probably 4 or 5 senior golds, like 12 to 14 golds. And I'm just laughing because it happens. Like, but here's the thing is, like Kendall said, the 3 pillars: recruit, retain, rank up. You have a decision to make when that happens, because it will happen. And if it hasn't happened to you yet, it's going to happen to you. And it's going to happen more than once. And so something that I decided in my business when I started was that I was always going to show up. I can't expect my team to show up more than I'm showing up. And so I really show up in my business. And because I have done that, I'm here to tell you, like, seriously, you will have an unshakable business if you don't stop. So I never stopped. When I had runners, I kept going, and that gives you safety in your business. It makes it wide so that when I have people quit, because I'm going to have more, I have that base. And the first thing with that is, okay, oh, my mom's going to E&W. I'm at her house right now. Okay. So sorry. Now I'm like, what was I saying? Thanks, Mom. But yeah, recruiting is so key. Obviously retention and duplicating as well, but bringing in that fresh blood. And so I always say, don't wait, create. Okay. I have had months where I wake up and I'm like, what was that? And so you know what I do? I go make some momentum. I start signing people up, and people can get on the pot or they can get off and join me or not, you know? So for recruiting, a lot of what I'm covering today, just for time wise, I have a video. Did you guys do the recruiting series? So I'm I don't know. I think I'm day 22.
I think yours was the one that before it was even released, I had watched it, and then I sent it in our team chat. I was like, if y'all haven't watched Amanda Simmons video, y'all need to watch it. So if y'all need to watch it, it's in the links in our PDP chat. You need to go check it out.
Yeah, so seriously, so I'll probably sound like a broken record, but I swear by this. I recruit on average 13 to 15 people a month consistently, always over 10, close anyway, somewhere in there. I'm a high recruiter. And so I'll go into that, but watch the video if you haven't. It's going to go in more detail than I can go into right now. And if you want the graphic, actually, Vicki Flanagan reached out. She's like, my team wants that graphic. She's like, I know. I told them just to Google more.
Graphic. I'll just say,
I was like, I'll give the graphic, Vicki. It's fine. So anyway, when I start talking to somebody, less is more. So relationship first. So at this point, I'm not even going to get into relationship. You've connected with this person. They want to know more about Plexus. And I feel like when people ask that question, people freeze. They're like, what is Plexus? Oh crap. I don't want to say the wrong thing. Maybe face in the triplex video and info sheets. And it can be so easy to freeze. Like, what is Plexus? So I always like, you can't mess this up. Okay. So I'll give the graphic, but I always just say, awesome. I'm excited to share more with you, but before I can get into products, I don't want to overwhelm you with information. I would love to hear your top 3 to 5 health goals, or if you can highlight this graphic for me, I'm going to be able to serve you better. And so that's where I always draw back. It's like this like couple sentence thing. Cause when I started Plexus, I used to just vomit. I'm like, oh my gosh, somebody's interested. And I'm like, get so excited, but it's like, oh boy. So, okay. So just slow down a little bit. So that's where I start. And then I talked a little bit about emotional buy-in. And so what I used to do, and actually I was going through old messages today to like re-follow up with people. It's been a couple years. I'm like closing my eyes. I was like, oh my gosh, there's just this 8-minute video from this naturopathic doctor. I was like, holy crap, no one's going to watch that. So anyway, so once they share that with me, like their symptoms, I like to ask how, for one, it's affecting their daily life. And then I get authentic about how it's affecting my life, because most people I sign up are strangers on the internet, and they're not going to share that they're like, whatever, if I'm not opening up to them. And then I share a video testimonial. So we've got a video chat, like it's like in a messenger chat with a bunch of videos. And I just forward a relatable one. 2 minutes long, not 8, but most people are going to be emotional buyers. And so I really try and connect with them emotionally. I don't send the triplex video. I don't send any of that. I literally just want them to know the products can work for them. So I'll send the video to them and then talk a little bit more about it's affecting their life. And then I always get permission before I share product information. I don't just like dump it on them after, right? I say, hey, like, did you resonate with that? Can I share some products that would really bless your health? And so you always want to get permission before you start dumping products down. Super common after you send that for people to ghost you or to like have their face drop down because people are busy. It's fine. Less time is better, because the longer you wait, it just Like, seriously, just follow up with them. The answer is going to be the same whether you wait or you don't. And usually it's more of a better answer if you do it quicker while it's fresh in their mind. If it's not ready for or they're not ready for it, then I'll usually ask what's holding them back. And I always get permission, like when would be a better time to check back in, because now you have permission again. You want them to feel like they're in control of the conversation and you're not just like dumping information at them, because they can go on the internet and get dumped with information in their face. So those are things that work in my business. For recruiting, I really like the videos. But yeah, I think that is all I had for recruiting, but watch the video because I think I go in way more detail in the video. I probably had notes.
That, like, so obviously with all of these conversations you're having, it's not day one that they're like, yes, I want to do this, right? I'm sure you have a way, you have to follow up just like everybody else does. Do you have a specific way you follow up that you have found to be effective, like a system behind your follow-up?
Well, I write them in my planner. So if they're not ready, like they've kind of ghosted me, I'll ask when a better time is. And then I just write them in. And I always tell them when I'm asking that, I'll say like, I don't want to hound you and I don't want to annoy you, but I also want to make sure that I'm doing my job to follow up with you because you know what I mean? The timing is just right. And so I'll really get permission. If they don't say anything, I'll change the topic usually. If they like, I just like, they kind of shut down, then I'll like try and change the topic, maybe reply in their stories, go back to the relationship with them and that trust.
Yeah. And you guys really definitely go watch her video. I'll share it again because the biggest takeaway I got from your other video, especially because it was so detailed, is what we hear from Bob Heilig all the time, the transformational, not transactional conversation.
100%. Like, and I like I don't know if it's something I heard somewhere, but you want to chase people and not points. Chase people, like not harass them, but be really focused on loving people. And the points are just going to follow you guys. Like just focus on relationships and on loving people and your points will reflect.
So I have another question, but I don't know if you had more and I don't want to like say something that you're already going to talk about.
Go ahead.
So I know obviously you have to have a lot of people in your funnel for you to be able to follow up and then be able to, you know, have that many people join you monthly. So how do you, one, find the people, and two, how do you start that conversation? Do they come to you or do you go to them?
So I actually do a lot of online vendor events. I don't know if anyone has heard of them. That would be like a whole other training. Actually, I think I have a video of that training. I'll have to find
I would love that one.
Yeah. So vendor events are basically where you get together with other vendors like Scentsy, Tupperware, whatever, and then you have a posting slot. And so I have my Plexus posts and I've got a whole system for that, which the reach out has the leaky gut. So that is more of a cold reach out, but they're there to shop. So it's like a completely different market that I would, you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't do that to a Facebook friend and send that kind of reach out. So I do a lot of vendor events and I really loved those. On my personal friends, I like to offer value. So something that I've personally found effective to fill my funnel. There's like the birthday sampling thing Angela Beller talks about, but I've just been offering it regardless if it's their birthday or not, and just offer a sample. And I actually have a sign up coming this month from a lady that I just offered a sample to because they feel like they're getting that value. I'm not, if you come to this event, I'll give you a sample. I'm just like, hey, this is helping me. And like from a mom to a mom, I know this could help you too. And so you have to be good with your follow-up. So I really like offering value to my network when I'm working on my personal friends list. And I found that to be really effective. And don't be scarcity mindset, you guys. Like if you sent out 30 samples and only 2 of those 30 people signed up, that pays for your bag of samples. So just send out the samples anyway. But I really found that to be quite effective for signups, is offering value. I'm a very bold person. I can't like sit and talk about people's dogs for 100 years and their grandma. And like, I'm just like, that's not authentic to me. And so I just thought like, how can I offer value and have people feel loved and cared about while still being direct? Because that's just who I am. I'm very red. And so I offer that like for my personal network, but always be expanding your network too. That's the other thing I'm going to say. Like I use vendor events, but the principle is the same. Like expand your network, go in Facebook groups, whatever, go on Instagram and find people that have are commenting on the same Instagram handle, whatever it is, just keep expanding your network. Because that was one of my worries when I started. I asked my sponsor, I was like, what do you do when you run out of people? That's what happens in these businesses. And so I promised myself that I would never run out of people, and I'm always meeting new people. Mm-hmm. How do you find vendor events to join? Yeah, so I use something called Trading Secrets. It's a little bit more money to do those. So there's cheaper ones. If you just go on Facebook and type vendor events, you'll see quite a few Facebook groups, and then you can find some there. So.
Yeah, Amanda, sorry, the other Amanda that asked the question. We have a girl that likes to do vendor events, Charity, on our team. I don't know if Charity may even be here. And so I have a feeling she's probably got some tips on how to find them too, so we can pick her brain a little bit. So Kelly wants to know what you put in your samples. And I would also love to know how you follow up with your samples, and if you are able to integrate your typical conversation flow into that conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, so a really good funnel with the samples. I mean, I like to send active either way, just because people feel good on active. But when you're sending it, or you're like, hey, so I can narrow down the best sample. So you just start funneling it. I would love to hear what your top health goals are, so I can figure out what sample would be the best one to send you. Now they start opening up with their health, and then it's the same system. And oftentimes they're just going to sign up regardless. They can still get their sample. But I'll start with their health goals, and then you can send the video and all these things and still send the sample. I usually write them in, I'm in Canada, so it takes them 10 minutes. It takes them half a month to get the price. Anyway, whatever many business days. And I tell them let me know as soon as it comes. I'm so excited for you. And then I'll still follow up if I don't hear back from them. But yeah, that's how you can sort of funnel that a little bit, because that gets you into conversation about their health goals naturally without being weird.
So what active flavor have you found has been the most successful?
Well, in Canada, we only have peach mango.
Oh, you only, so they
I know. It's so sad. I can order the other ones in, but it's my favorite anyway. So yeah, and we don't have black cherry. I know. I should just move.
So sad. Oh,
I ordered it anyway.
Well, I did have another question, and this actually goes back to something you haven't talked about, but it's something you told me. And guys, I love that you guys are actually asking questions. So please keep putting them in the chat.
Keep them coming.
But you had mentioned that you earned silver stars under yourself and your husband. And I know some of y'all here may not know what Silver Stars is. Silver Stars is basically a free trip that corporate gives away to reward those that develop the most silvers in 1 month, right? In 1 month?
So Canada is a little bit different. In the States, it is in 1 month, but in Canada, it's actually over the whole quarter. So you have,
because they're still growing in Canada. And yes. So, but she earned it under herself and her husband, which is insane. So I wanted to kind of with all of these people you have coming in, do you have a way that you've really found that helps? I know I said recruitment, but I'm gonna ask about duplication. A way that helps to inspire them to go silver,
Yeah, I dip them, the frog in the boiling water analogy. Have you heard that? If you're oh my gosh, and you throw the frog in the pot, they're gonna jump out of that pot so dang fast. So I like to slowly, I want that frog comfortable. And so something that I do when somebody signs up, I can forward you the voice message and you can forward it to your team. I send a voice message to them. Do you want me to just play it? I'll just play it. I don't know if that'll work. So I sent it, it's a minute. I send it to myself in Messenger so that I'm not recreating the wheel. And actually my kids are screaming in it and I love it because it's authentic. Okay, so this is what I'll send, because usually when you send about the referral link, you're and there's this link. And if you want, and you could, if you wanted to refer your friends when you're ready, it's this thing where you're I don't want them, you know what I'm saying, right? So this is what I'll say. I'll send the pre-filled cart, and before it wasn't a pre-filled cart, and I'll say this. Don't mind my crazy. Anyway, the referral site is just your first and last name, all one word together. People are always what's the referral site? What's really cool with Flex is customers actually referral without even being an ambassador. So gosh, my computer fell off. About family and friends that you can do this with. It'll help for accountability and
that sort of thing, but also you'll get like a $300 friendship bonus in cash, which will cover your first couple months of products doing this with 3 friends. And all it is like, hey, you know, I'm doing this thing, I feel like crap, I'm done feeling like crap, do you want to do this together? I know you wanted to get healthy too, or does it sound like something you want to do too? And then if they're interested, you just connect me in a message and I help from there. So it's really just connecting me to people that this could also help, and you'll have a support group. So start thinking about a few people that you're gonna do this with while you're waiting on your products. But yeah, for that one spot, you'll just put your first and last name. Don't mind my crazy.
Sorry. So I'll send that. And then once they order, then I'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you. Like, as you think of those names, just feel free to connect me. I'm always here. And then when they get their products, like, it's like you're dripping it on them the whole time. I'll have them do a first Facebook post. Like, I really try and just dip their toes a little bit. And I will know really quickly when somebody writes back and they're like, $300. And I'm like, yes, like, okay. Like, you know what I mean? That's kind of my permission. I'll be like, yeah, have you ever looked into other sides of income or other streams of income? But yeah, I find that really effective, is just sort of dipping them, because most of my silvers didn't become big business builders. And I think the biggest thing is people put people in a category where they're like, this is a business builder, this is a customer. And it's really not our job to prejudge that. We offer that to everybody, whether you think they'd want to or not, having them post. And then, yeah, when they get their products, they have them post. So it's like going back to the basics. Sometimes I'll have people host a party, which is a 15-minute messenger event. I'll say something like, hey, I'm like just having some of my customers host parties this month for me. And you get like a super sweet little gift from me for hosting. It's like 15 minutes. Do you have some time to carve out to do that? So that's another way, especially with vendor events. I just find people are familiar with hosting a party, and that's a little less scary for people than like, it feels less like on them, I guess, right? So yeah, those are a couple things that have worked for me.
I love it. Oh, so much good information. Okay, do y'all have more questions? Because I promised her 20 to 30 minutes, and
Okay.
sometimes I lie and we go longer than that. So
Nobody would
have
say
a
yes if I told them it was longer. Oh, go ahead.
I have a quick question. When you host a party, do you do messenger event parties? That's what you do? Okay.
Yeah, I love them. I do 15-minute messenger events, and I'll usually do like a limited time offer at them. I can send like the board that I use for it if you want. But
We
yeah.
do those. I was just wondering what format you used, but I really like the just offering a little gift for that. I think that would help.
Yeah, it gives like some incentive for them to do it. Like if
Yeah.
there's something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really
because you think
Okay.
of, like Pampered Chef and all them, the incentive is, oh, you earn a little free something. And so I like that it kind of relates it to that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean they're earning their commissions, but yeah, I mean I like the little extra push. I think it's a
if
good
they
idea.
sign up, because people don't believe in themselves. So they're like, they don't know how it's gonna go, you know what I mean? So then at least they're guaranteed to get something.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Does anyone
really-
else have some? So whenever you have them do a post or do a party for you, like, do you have just your standard invite message? You're like, hey, here's how you invite people, and like, and it works.
Yeah. I mean, you can't say the wrong thing to the whatever right person. It really, some are total flops, I'm gonna be honest with you, but like if they don't invite as many people, like I can't control that. I always tell them to do it like privately, because I have had some people and they still do this when I tell them to do it privately. It's like so-and-so added 45 people, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you know. And so I always tell them, like, you know, to do it privately, and I give them some verbiage they can tweak and whatever. I don't have them send a graphic with the verbiage, or it's like really spammy. I think, like, I used to make a graphic for them, but I feel like when their friends get a message with like keep the invite short, but like if it's like this invite and then there's like a graphic, I feel like those are the messages that get put on red and look like a thing. So I don't actually have them do a graphic when they do it. So
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna be picking your brain on all of this. And you guys, I will share her video. I'm just gonna say it again. It has so much value. I'm gonna share it again. If you guys didn't watch it from the what was it called? The recruit, not make them stay May. It's whatever the last recruiting series we did.
I don't even remember.
But she literally goes from her first message to her last message, how she has the conversation flow. And it truly is just about connecting heart level and not just trying to get a sale. And so I love that. It was just very impactful. And it's nothing that we don't all know, right? Like we all know, get their health goals, connect a little bit, offer validation, like we all know that, but how you do it can have a huge impact. Instead of just going step by step and checking the box. So
1 degree shift.
Yes, I did write that down. What you said something there, and you said just get a little bit better than you were yesterday, and it made me think at Joel training last week, Christina Williams. She's like, if you can get 1% better, 1%, what are you going to be like in the future? But we all just want to be 100% better instantly, and that's not life. That's not reality.
Yeah, and getting a little better is not always your points, ladies. I'm just saying, I talk to my team a lot about non-scale wins. The scale can show the points, but the non-scale wins are things that we miss out on when we're just fixated on points. And so I always have my team focus on the other things that went well in their business, because you can be having huge growth, losing lots of inches and leaning out without the scale changing. And so I always have people, what you focus on expands and grows. And so if you're focusing on your points and what went bad versus what went well, then you're missing out on so much. So really focus on, what did I grow? What did I learn from this month? Because it's not always going to be reflective in your points by 1 degree better.
Yeah, absolutely. And something you have to remind yourself every single day. And if you guys didn't listen to Motivation Monday, it all just, I don't know if you even got to listen to Jill before this. Jill Renfro did Motivation Monday, and it just all ties together. So, I mean, it's all these things we just have to keep in the forefront of our mind, or we convince ourselves, I can't do this. So anyway, well, Amanda, thank you so much. I love you. This is great.
Thank you for having me. I love your sideline sister, Rena. I think she's on your team, right?
Rena's here silently somewhere, or she's usually iPhone, so she may have.
Oh, it's iPhone. Oh, hi.
But
no, it's okay. I was like, where's Rena? What? Seriously, girl. So good to see you.
I've been on mute on video. I have my grand dog. She's really loud. Sorry, but yeah, we met in it was Millie 2021 in Arizona in Scottsdale for the first Jewel training. And I just adore you. We just sat that one day and just had a conversation, and I've seen you at a line, and I don't know, whenever there's an event or anything, I just look for opportunities to see you and connect with you. And so I just want to let you know how much I appreciate you.
Well, thanks and one more thing I'll share, and this, some people are not into this. So if you're this isn't for you, that's okay. But I'm here to tell you that I had 6 ambassador upgrades in a few days doing this, and probably 7 to 8 level 2s. So I did host a post. Some people aren't into this, and that's okay if you're oof, I'm not going to do that. But when I've had my biggest growth in my business, I've done this, and I did it last month, and it was explosive. All I do is I go to my Facebook friends. So the looking for 6 friends post. So I'll go to my customers. This is legit. So, and if you're oh, that's not for me, that's fine. I'm okay with that. I'll tell you the verbiage I use really quick, and sorry, and then I'll let you go, or you can get off
take
now.
all the little nuggets when you say, oh, this was explosive. I mean, how are you not supposed to tell us that?
And some of the posts just they're following sect, but then there were some where I made silvers from this. So all I say is, hey, I was wondering if you'd be willing to post this for me. I'd love to offer this. So I had a little sale I did. I'd love to offer this deal to some of your friends, and you'd go on a draw for a free bag of active. That's it. And then I have them do this, where it's the post, but it's my friend's looking for 6 friends to try her pink drink for 60 days. Comes with 2 products and anyway. So I actually had a lot of customers that I couldn't for the life of me get to do a post with their drink. And they're like, sure, no problem. Because it's not like them. It's their friend looking for it. So it takes that like stress off of like, I'm not doing this. That blew up. Where's my list? I think I do have a lot of customers though. So, I mean, but I had, you guys, this is so funny. I'm doing this in my mom's basement and I threw this computer on her ironing board because it's all I had. And the board keeps falling. But anyway, I had like probably 25 level ones post it. Like it was probably a 50% yes rate. And then I did the draw for the active. Tons of new conversations. I did it for Magic Week. And while I was sleeping, I was getting put in a million different three-way messages and a bunch, like now they're feeding into this month. And there was still going into the beginning of the month, more people that like, hey, I know it's over, but this person's interested, getting put in three-way messages. So it's another tool, but I'm not kidding you, huge success. And last spring when I did this, I had like 140 VIPs that month. Like I was like duplicating out far more than my leaders. Like it just brought more growth. So I'm going to be doing that again. Some people hate host to post. That's okay, but it works. I know Cindy.
You put those people under whoever posted it?
I do. Yeah. I always honor the connector. And then it's like some don't upgrade, some do. And then that's where I'll usually feed them to silver, where I'm like, oh my gosh, like they'll get one or two from that post. And then one actually got a referral from the host to post. And I just did a messenger event for her on Sunday night because I was like, you're like 2 away. So let's do a 50-minute party, you know? And she has her second sign up coming in tonight. So then I sort of loophole it there and they at least have one. So I have this list of, because I got like probably 7 level 2s from that. Like I've got a ton of people now. I'm like, you're like 2 away from this amazing bonus. Do you have like a little bit of time to work with me this month to make that? So yeah, that's another system that works really well.
Amanda, I do have a question about the host to post. So I'm on Natalie's team page too. So I'm familiar with the host to post. So instead of how she does it, instead of like put a heart that, you remember how she doesn't put a heart that most represents, what you're looking to. I like how you basically are using the magic message for the host to post.
Cool.
So I did have my girl Jackie do this last month and the girl got like, I think what she did, I don't know if it might not have been from the host to post, but anyway, so, I'm assuming that you're getting the buy. I'm like, hey, if anyone's interested, all I'm asking is that you start the 3-way chat. Is that correct? You get their buy-in from that?
Yeah. So I don't like to dump information. I first like, if they're okay to do it. I'm not like, and then So once they're like, yeah, sure, I can do that. Yes. Then I say, okay, perfect. Anyone that's interested, you'll put me in a 3-way message and I give them the verbiage. And I didn't have any problems. They put me in.
Okay. I would love to see what that looks like. Cause Jackie has done everything right. As far as like this person has put her in a 3-way message. And then Jackie is using our system, our 3-way follow-up system, but it's just not really going anywhere. They don't really know her, but I think maybe from the host to post, because I guess the host to post is different because you are saying, my friend. So I guess there's no surprise when they start the 3-way message because you're the friend.
I'm the friend. That's who I am.
That might interesting. Okay.
Like, go to the friend on the side and just say, hey, was this something you were still interested in? Like on the side, and then go from there. Yeah.
Awesome. I love that. I never thought about using the magic message as the host to post. Very smart.
It freaking blew up. So I'm gonna do that again. Like it just works. Yeah.
And Rena, if you haven't seen hers, watch her recruitment video because her conversation flow, I think also the uniqueness of that is what probably helps because I'm assuming that's the same flow you do in your 3-way chats.
100%. Mm-hmm.
So
I can do it in my sleep. Sometimes I dream about it. Sign up I just signed up 5 people last night. And I wake up, I'm like, dang it, not for real.
By any chance, are you using the what is it, Joanna Miller or the Emily Gibson? Like Did you see that? The Joanna Miller three-way
Oh,
chat?
I haven't.
Okay. So I was just curious if that's where, okay, interesting. I'm gonna watch it now and just compare it to,
Amanda, don't go watch it now because what you're
no.
doing is working.
Yeah, don't change
It
the.
works for you. Yeah, it's true. It's just and that's like actually when I was at the summit with Brooke, they went through systems and everyone was like talking about all their systems, all these jewels. And I was like, I literally was like, like I didn't want to hear it because I was like, what I'm doing is working. And I don't want to feel like, oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. Like pick something and just really stick with that for a bit. Because if you're scrolling and trying to like do the next best thing and what that person's doing and that person's, it's going to confuse your team. And it's like, you're not going to know what is working and what's not working. So.
Exactly. I love it. Okay, friends, I'm going to stop our live stream.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm so appreciative.
Guys, like in Vegas or on the cruises, like come find me.
Yes. Oh, we will.
Can meet.
Talking.
Guys.